maybe one step closer to living like the Jetsons as the FAA gives the go-ahead for a flying car to begin test flights. ALF Aeronautics is aiming to deliver its $300,000 electric Model A to customers by late 2025. Flying cars have long been a fixation of science fiction, from the Jetsons to Blade Runner and Back to the Future. So could the fantasy really become a reality? Well, let's take this to our group chat. ABC News transportation producer Sam Sweeney joins me now, along with business reporter Alexis Christoforous and ABC News contributor, Google Tech Policy Fellow Mike Muse for more. So, Mike, let's start with just the basic. What makes a flying car, and how do these prototypes actually work?
So they have 8 propellers, 4 on each side. What makes this one so unique is that it has a vertical elevation, and so it can lift off by literally just sitting in a space, lift off vertically.
Like a helicopter?
Like a helicopter, and also, too, it has forward motion. What makes this one so unique, too, as well, is that it can actually be driven on the ground as well, where other flying cars who have submitted applications for the FAA can only fly. But this one can do both ground and in the air, and it can also park. They're also, too, looking at doing autonomous driving, too, as well with this first model vehicle. The first vehicle is only going to sit 2 passengers. They are looking to expand down the road with possibly having up to 4 passengers. Currently, right now, the car only can go 25 miles per hour in the air with a distance of 200 total, but with 100 that being in the air. So a fascinating technological feat, I must say.
And I imagine super easy parallel parking, because you just drop right in.
Yes, no more 3-point parking stands.
Alexis, the company is already offering a pre-sale of this flying car. Yeah. So how real is this projection of them saying they want to deliver this by late 2025? That's not that far away.
No, did you see that video? I'm not ready for that, to have all that overhead. This went on pre-order about 2 years ago. They already have 400 orders. This is not cheap. This is a $300,000 car at the moment. In order to reserve one, you only had to put down $150, but it was refundable. So I think a lot of people probably liked the idea, jumped on the bandwagon. But as we move closer and it gets more real, they will probably pull out. But I don't want us to get too excited. We're not going to have, tons of cars up in the air in 2025. This is still in test mode. And also, as you said, Mike, it can also go on the road. The Highway Traffic Safety Administration still needs to sign off on it, which they haven't done yet.
Well, so let's go to that point. Sam, the FAA has some serious restrictions on air travel. So how will that work in a world with flying cars?
This is just one step in a very long process to get this thing certified. There are many restrictions in place right now. This certification allows the company to continue with limited research, to fly it around the airport where they are working, to do test flights to make this come to life. But we are still very far off. 2025 seems like it's close, and those may be the goals of this company. But that seems like a stretch to a lot of experts I've talked with. This is going to have to go through multiple rounds of testing, safety testing, and then we have to talk about the infrastructure. Can you just take off in your local cul-de-sac at the end of your street, fly over a bunch of houses, and then land at work? We're going to have to come up with vertiports. So if this thing really does work and they are able to figure out all of the logistical challenges, the battery life, the safety aspects of this, would you take off, have to drive it to a local parking lot and then go to the top floor and take off from there and then fly to another parking lot? Or will you be able to say, as Alexis said, land in your driveway? Those are things that all have to be worked out. There are a number of different companies that are working on variations of this sort. We're talking about eVTOLs, which are electric vertical and takeoff robo-taxis, if you will. United Airlines and Delta have said that they would like to have those to bring people from far out suburbs into airports like Chicago O'Hare or Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport, but you would have to go to certain locations, and they have been working on those for years as well. They're still working out the kinks to try to make this come to fruition.
Vertiports. I learned a new word today. Mike, how disruptive could this be to the way we live now?
I think it could be very disruptive, but in a good way. I know when this first got announced, or the idea of a flying car, I used to be very apprehensive to that. And so I started living in New York and experiencing traffic gridlock. And then I'm like, I wouldn't mind a flying car
when
in this moment.
When you're in your car, you're thinking, I wish this thing could just...
So now I'm all for it. And I hope this regulation moves quickly. There's nothing like being stuck in traffic in New York City. So I think it's going to be very disruptive. One, particularly to the autonomous driving movement that is happening right now. Think what Tesla is trying to do and other cars are trying to do. I think it's also, too, going to be disruptive, but to the air space transportation, the airline industry, which I'm really glad Sam pointed that out. But these airlines recognize that, and they're trying to enter into the race, particularly as we see airports in the regional areas are starting to close because not enough routes are getting there. So this could be very beneficial for individuals who live in rural areas where they have regional airports that are closing to be able to use this flying airline taxi service to get them to a major hub and connecting. And so I think it could be disruptive both to the airline industry, also to the car industry that is looking to do autonomous driving.
So, Sam, where does this technology stand, and what are the next steps here?
There's going to be a long list of steps. First is safety. The FAA has to prove that this vehicle is safe, that it's safe for the traveling public, and it can go mainstream. Then you've got to come up with that infrastructure, as I was talking about, and also flight paths. You know, our airspace is already congested. There's going to be certain places where you can fly these things, where you can't fly them, and they're going to have to come up with that framework. This is going to take many, many years.
All right, Sam Sweeney, Mike Muse, Alexis Christophorus, thank you all.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.